Hello and welcome to another podcast edition of Taiwan Talk. I'm Keith Manconi. Now, putting political parties aside for just a second, the real winner for the 2016 general election here in Taiwan was gender equality. Of course, on the show last week, we heard from Academia Sinica political scientist Nathan Botto. And he told us that these gains that we saw in the executive branch and the legislature put Taiwan at the forefront of democracies around the world. And that's something to be celebrated. But today, we're going to be hearing from one women's advocacy group that says they're less interested in the symbolism and the numbers than the substance. And they're going to be watching the Tsai administration closely to make sure it delivers on concrete policy improvements for women's welfare. That group is the Modern Women's Foundation, and they work to prevent violence against women here in Taiwan. I spoke with their deputy chief executive, Lin Mei-hsun, at their offices in Taipei to learn just what exactly they'll be watching for from the next administration. Lin Mei-hsun, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
So there's a lot of excitement around the Tsai presidency for a lot of reasons. Among those reasons is the fact that she's Taiwan's first female president. So obviously that's a big milestone for Taiwan. But the sense that I'm getting from your group is that you want to look beyond just the symbolic nature of the presidency, and you want to see real concrete advancement on gender issues in Taiwan. So could you tell our listeners a little bit about what it is specifically that you would like to see advanced now that we have a female president, and B, also we should mention 43 female legislators, which is the highest percentage Taiwan has ever had in the Legislative Yuan.
Yeah. On one hand, we're very pleased we have a female president. That means we strongly believe women can lead a country nowadays. But on the other hand, it is not a guarantee of a female president can lead a good gender equality policy. So I would like to stress and hoping the new government can focus more women's right, like violence against women issue. Although we have domestic violence law and we have sexual assault prevention law and sexual harassment prevention law, but not enough. There are still lots of women facing stalking, but not has no law to deal with. And also, for the prevention of the three kinds of violence against women are largely underfunded. So we hope the new government would look into the need and raise up the budget so that we can reduce the rate of domestic violence or sexual assault.
And I know that your organization really does focus on this specific set of issues, but I mean, even more broadly, would you say that issues relating to gender equality in general, do you think that they're taken seriously in Taiwan, or is this just a whole area that is often overlooked up to this point?
For the last few years, I have to say we made some progress in putting gender in the mainstream. Yeah, but still not enough. Even we have a law look like gender equality, but in reality, it's not. The gender discrimination still exists. For example, you have the law saying women can have the maternity leave, but in their career, in their employment environment, when they are pregnant, they may be fired or they may be changed their position in the company. Even the law say it's not allowed, but it still happen. Yeah. So our government should be the gatekeeper to keep the woman can securely stay in their career, not because of the pregnancy and then they have to forced to leave their job. Yeah.
And so is the real problem here is that the people in power just don't understand the scope of these problems. They don't understand how severe it is, and so they don't fully understand how much should really be invested into addressing them? Do you think that that's the real issue here?
I think government knows statistics. They know the figures. They know how much budget they should input. They know how lack of the labor's social worker in helping. But the thing is, when they make a decision comparing with other projects, this kind of social welfare is the first one to be cut. Yeah, when your national budget is very, very limited. Yeah, so that probably make people feel a disappointment.
So overall, would you say that the way that the elections turned out on Saturday, with the gains that we've already discussed, would you say that makes you hopeful, or is it really too early to make any assessment yet?
I mean, Tsai Ing-wen herself, the new president herself, is a strong figure, implying a woman can be the chief, can be the leader. We are very pleased about that. But on the other hand, we will still have to put in our observation that whether in her presidency will there be more friendly gender equality policy coming out, or it's getting worse. We don't know. Yeah, so we will keep an eye on that.
So still kind of too early to say, it sounds like.
Yeah, I should say that. Yeah, it's too early to say. Yeah.
Now, looking to some of the other aspects of this whole election, what do you think that this election shows about Taiwan? I mean, does it show that attitudes towards women are changing? Is there some movement there?
Yeah, I think in some way, I believe people change the attitude toward women, especially believe women's characteristics can lead the country too. For a long time, in traditional thinking, like those who wearing girls are not qualified in deciding a country's fate or country's policy. But nowadays, people accept that women can be a main role of the policy making, and not a supporting role only. We had a lot of female. We have female president, vice president before. We have the first lady before, but we never have a main role as a female. Yeah.
And so, what exactly do you think had to change to make this possible? I mean, do you think that some attitudes had to change within the DPP, within the voters, in order for us to see this happen?
I believe so, yeah. And I think her success is not happening one day. It takes her a long time to come into this point. So for a long time, the gender equality education was done in many areas in Taiwan. It's probably helped people to accept a female figure to be a president. And on the other hand, I guess people start dislike, men's characteristics of being very competitive, very aggressive, too strong, things like that. They're probably hoping women's characteristic in containing more people's opinions, try to coordinate everything. But these traits were considered to be weakness before, but now it become a strength. I think this is the change. So
even outside of what you were talking about earlier of maybe some of these female leaders, they're going to be role models, even beyond that, this shift may lead to a change in values for who we think of can be leadership or what makes good leadership.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I believe so. People already really hate the conflict in the same party or the conflict in the society as a whole. They want a person different, from males' characteristics, I guess.
What are going to be the less concrete signs that there really is gender equality in Taiwan's politics, in Taiwan's political system? What's going to say to you that this is a system where men and women both have equal opportunity to be seen as strong leaders?
Yeah, we will look into some indicators, like as I said earlier, like employment, like violence against women, whether male victims and female victims are close by or still a strong gap. Nowadays is a strong gap between female and male. And also like poverty, or the male and females, the ratio of the female and male, and also the political participation rate, between male and females. There are some indicators we will look into, and also we hope what we say the CEDAW, the International Women's Rights Convention, can really executed in Taiwan, that eliminate any forms of discrimination and any forms of violence against women.
All right, and just looking forward, so these do seem like big gains for women, at the very highest levels of authority and influence in Taiwan. Do you see the gains that we saw on Saturday? Do you see that translating into gains as well in gender equality for women that maybe aren't necessarily, in such elite positions? Is this really a big shift for Taiwan as a whole?
The female president is a role model, but the transformation takes time. Yeah, but at least nowadays there's a role model there, and people can dream, especially women and girls can dream a dream that never come true before. Yeah, so I guess for the people who are just a normal woman can still have a hope, hope to change. When society willing to give chance to women and look, they focus on her ability, not her gender only, or the company will give more resource, more training, more opportunity to women to stretch her potential, not constrain her potential because of her gender. And I guess if on that track, our society can change to a more gender equality society.
All right, so certainly a lot of issues for all of us to be following as this administration continues. We have been speaking today to Lin Mei-hsun. She is the Deputy Chief Executive of the Modern Women's Foundation. Mei-hsun, thanks so much for speaking with us today.
Thank you, Keith.
You can learn more about the foundation and their work at their website, 38.org.tw. That's it for the show this week. For Taiwan Talk, I'm Keith Manconi.